So good morning to everybody. I am Javagar from NSTA Chennai.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. So today's the topic is friction. So for everybody, good morning. Again, so more people are going to join. So wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Very small chapter, we can easily cover. So okay, you can straight away start. Those who are joined late, again while taking a revision, they will understand. So what is meant by friction? So these are the contents in this chapter. We can cover all the topic one by one. So what is meant by friction? First I am reading the line. When a solid surface is rubbed on another solid surface, a force is created in between the surfaces which acts in the opposite direction of motion or opposite direction of the applied force. This force is called frictional force or friction. So I will explain. Whenever if you are moving any job, so in between the sliding surfaces, a force will be created. For example, one very big box available, we are just pushing it. So we wanted to move to some other place. In between the sliding surfaces, for example, the surface of the floor and the bottom surface of the job. In between the surfaces, a force will be created. That force they are telling us frictional force. Very simple. Whenever any surface or any job, if you are moving the job by sliding or rubbing, or whenever two surfaces are rubbing or sliding or moving with each other, touching with each other, immediately a force will be created. Once you start sliding, immediately a force will be created in between the surfaces. That force is called frictional force. Very simple. Whenever a job is moving over with another solid surface, the force is created in between the surfaces. That force is called frictional force. And they are telling one more point, which acts opposite to the direction of applied force. Suppose we are moving the job towards the right, means the force is created in the opposite direction. You see the sketch, applied force given in right hand side direction. A box is a job. Keeping the job on the floor. We are by means of applied force, I am moving the job in between the surfaces. A force will be created. That force is called frictional force, but I am marking in the right hand side direction because the frictional force always acts opposite to the applied force. Actually, frictional force is created in between the surfaces only. I am marking in other area. So understand or no? So once again repeat. Whenever if you are moving any job with another surface or any solid with another surface, in between the sliding surfaces or touching surfaces, a force will be created. That force is called frictional force. Very simple. Suppose a table, if you are just moving, immediately a force will be created in between the surfaces. That force is called frictional force. And one more point, keep it in mind. The frictional force always acts opposite to the direction of applied force. Frictional force always try to stop our movement. That's why it is called opposite force. Try to stop our movement. Even though we are applying some force, they try to stop our movement. So once again repeat, there is more, the chapter heading is friction, so that's why I'm repeating once again. When a solid surface is rubbed on another solid surface, a force is created in between the surfaces which acts in the opposite direction of the applied force. That force is called frictional force, or simply we call it as friction. We simply give the idea in mind. Whenever two surfaces are striking with each other, in between the surfaces, a force will be created. That force is called frictional force, which acts always opposite to the direction of applied force. There are 4 types of friction: static friction, sliding friction, rolling friction, and fluid friction. What is meant by static friction? Static means ideal condition. The friction force that acts between the surfaces when they are at rest with respect to each other. Whenever a job is placed on a floor, in between the surfaces, no movement. It is simply placing on the, example you see, table lamp resting on the table. No movement, but in between the surfaces, always one friction will be available. That friction is called static friction. Simply saying means whenever a body is at rest, the friction between the surfaces is called static friction. Because of friction only, the job is not moved anywhere. It remains in the same place. Friction not available, the lamp will keep on moving. So static friction means whenever a job is in static condition or rest position, the friction between the surface is called static friction. Then go to sliding friction. Sliding means whenever a job is moving, the resistance that is created between two objects when they are sliding against each other. Example, sliding of the block across the block. You are moving the job, keep on moving means it is a sliding job. For example, skating. So sliding. On the slope, one boys keep on sliding. So whenever the jobs are moving, or in the shaping machine, the ram is moving forward and reverse, forward, reverse, forward, reverse. It's a sliding friction. Whenever the job are moving, the friction between the surfaces is called sliding friction. Example, sliding of the block across the floor, or if you are moving the job. Third one, rolling friction. The force resist means oppose the motion. Always I told friction always acts opposite to the motion of the applied force. That's what they are telling. The force resists the motion of the ball or wheel, and that force is called that friction is called a rolling friction. So this they are telling this is the weakest type of friction. Example, wheel of moving vehicle. All the vehicle, wheels are provided. The wheel rotating by means of mechanical power, energy, it is rotating and touching the floor, and always it is rotating. So rolling, whenever a body is on rotation, the friction between the surface is called rolling friction, and is the weakest friction among the 4. 4 types of friction available. The weakest friction is rolling friction. And fluid friction, last one. So, fluid means normally they are telling both the liquid and air together is called fluid. Don't confuse. Fluid means both air and water or liquid. So read the friction that exists between the layers of fluid when they are moving related to each other. Example, swimming. While swimming, our body, we are trying to move from one direction to another direction. That time, the water is resisting our movement. That is fluid friction. Or when the aeroplane is going, it's moving against the air, or car is moving, it's moving against the air. So air is a fluid. The ship going, or boat going, or we are swimming. So we are opposing the water will oppose our movement. So the friction between the liquid and our body while swimming, or the air and vehicle while vehicle and the movement. So both are called fluid friction. Air moving against the air or moving against the water. Both are called fluid friction. So these are the 4 types of friction. Then advantages and disadvantages of friction. why friction is required, or whether friction required or not. Advantages and disadvantages. First one, we go for advantages of friction. Friction gives sufficient grip on belt pulley drive system. So the meaning. So normally the motor, when switch on, the motor will rotate, the shaft will rotate. On the shaft we are mounted on pulley, the pulley will rotate. So by means of belt, we are transmitting the motion power to machine pulley. So that's a belt pulley drive system. Once the motor pulley is rotated, the power is transmitted, it is rubbing with the belt. Once it is rubbing, we already studied now, once the motor pulley is rubbing with the belt, immediately some friction will be developed. So we already, whenever any job is moving, immediately a force will be created. That force is called friction, we already studied. Once the motor pulley rotated, it is rubbing with the belt, immediately a force will be created. That is called frictional force. That frictional force only gives sufficient grip. We are using the word grip. The gripness is obtained because of friction. Once the gripness is obtained, the power is transmitted from motor pulley to machine pulley. Then the machine will rotate, the machine will operate. So if the friction gripness is not getting, the belt will not transmit power. The gripness is obtained because of friction only. So wherever we are using the gripness word, no, the gripness word is obtained because of friction only. So better grip we are telling. Gripness is obtained because of friction only. Second point, walking and running of men, animal, etc. So if you are, for example, we are running with very fast movement, and if you want to stop at a particular place, we can't be able to stop. After 1 feet or 2 feet, we can be able to stop because we are rubbing our bottom surface of our foot, rubbing on the floor. So immediately friction will be developed. Once both becomes equal, then only we can be able to stop. It may take 1 feet or 3 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet. It depends upon the floor condition. Smooth floor, it will take more time or more distance required for stopping. Rough floor means easily friction will be developed. So the walking and running of men, animal, woman, etc. Everything depends upon friction only. If friction is not there, we can't be able to stop. So third one, movement of vehicles. If you want to stop the vehicle or if you want to reduce the speed of the vehicle, what the driver is doing, he is applying some force on the brake pedal. By mechanism, the brake shoe going to coincide with the wheel drum, come and join with the wheel drum. Once joined, the wheel drum is giving applied force on the brake shoe. Immediately friction developed. We already said, once the job is rubbing with the brake shoe, immediately friction developed, gripness obtained, the vehicle speed will be slowly reduced. Finally, the vehicle once for all stopped. So here the gripness is obtained because of friction. So friction, without friction, we can't be able to reduce the speed of the vehicle or stop the vehicle. So disadvantages of friction. So whenever two surfaces keep on rubbing, suppose our hand, both the hands we are rubbing means lot of heat will be produced. Once heat produced, sliding parts will get wear. For example, the shaping machine, the ram is moving forward, reverse, forward, reverse. Suppose, for example, or the engine cylinder, the piston is moving up and down with a number of times. So, a lot of heat will be produced. So, once the heat is produced means sliding parts will get wear because the metal becomes soft. Once heat produced and cooled, heating, cooling means the metal becomes soft. Once soft material means any time wear and tear will be taken place, or the metal will get damaged slowly by layer by layer. So finally, the result is because of this, speed of the machine will be reduced. Finally, the efficiency of the machine will be lost. All are because of heat formation only. So what we have to do? as much as possible, you have to reduce the heat. Normally, what we are doing in between the sliding surfaces, we are putting some oil. We are not allowing the surface contact. In between the surfaces, we are putting some oil or lubrication. Oil only touching the surfaces. So heat formation we can reduce. Similarly, in the engine also, they are putting petrol along with oil. On the heat, they are taken by fins in the two-wheeler. Whatever heat produced in the engine cylinder, they are continuously taken away the heat, the engine through fins provided around the engine. While moving, the air will remove the heat. On the four-wheeler heavy vehicle, the water jacket will be available around the engine. Lot of water they are having. The water removing the heat, and the water is going to radiator. Again, that gets cooled. Again, circulator, recycling. So once heat is reduced or heat is removed, then the machine will not get a jam, or thereby we can avoid the heat formation. How to reduce friction? Oil spreaded surfaces will reduce friction. If in between the surfaces, if you are putting oil, thereby we can reduce the friction. The surface contact we are avoiding. We are putting lubricant. If you are seeing any machine, one contain a small box available. In that, we are putting daily oil. So if oil are providing is friction very less. In some places, very less friction required for easy movement. The engine, inside the engine, friction not required. We have to any moving, normally sliding job, the shaping machine. Some area friction required, some area friction we have to reduce. And the third one, the sliding surfaces should be made smooth. Either you put oil in between the surfaces. Another method is the surfaces, both the touching surfaces, if you are made very smooth, means their friction is minimum, or we can reduce the friction. So oil spreaded or lubricated surfaces, you can say lubricated surfaces will reduce friction, and the sliding surfaces should be made smooth. So these are idea about what is friction, or what are the advantages and disadvantages of friction. The concept we studied, what is friction and what are the advantages and disadvantages. Some area friction required, very much required, because for transmitting power from motor pulley to machine pulley, friction required. The engine, for movement of piston inside the cylinder, very friction not required, not at all. Then only it can easily move up and down. Then for doing, before going to problem, some important points you have to read. A new word. What is meant by normal reaction? For doing problem, these are the data required. What is a normal reaction? Word itself meaning available. Normal reaction. Read the line, then by means of sketch, I will explain easily. When a solid is placed on an even surface, it exerts a downward force. Exert means it applies a downward force on the surface. An equal amount of upward force acts vertically from the surface to the solid. This upward force is called normal reaction. You see the sketch. You forgot about right and left arrow. Only top and bottom you take. The top I am putting weight W. The bottom I am putting normal reaction R. That two arrow you take it into account for understanding this definition. Normal reaction. You forget about right and left arrow. When a solid is placed on a surface, if you are keeping any job on a surface, immediately it applies a downward force on the surface. Normally it is equal to weight of the job. An equal amount of upward force acts vertically from the surface to the solid. For easy understanding, I will suppose we are sitting on a bench. depends upon the weight. We are pressing the bench, wooden blank. An equal, but bench wooden blank is not broken. That means an equal amount of forces reacted from the wooden blank to our body surface, the sitting area. So whatever amount of weight depends upon the weight, an equal amount of forces reacted from the surface. That force, that is called normal reaction. Now you understand. It depends upon, it's an imaginary one, but we know weight of the job. We are sitting on the bench. So our weight we know. We are sitting without holding anything. We are sitting on the bench means depends upon our weight. We are pressing the bench. But the bench not broken means an equal amount of force is reacted. So normal reaction we are taken equal to weight. For doing problem, formula depends upon normal reaction data. But in this chapter, W is equal to R. You have to take. Here, weight we know. Weight of the job we know. So, understanding, whenever a job is placed on a surface or any area surface, it gives a downward force depends upon the weight equal to the weight, and immediately an equal amount of force is reacted from the surface to the job. That force is called a normal reaction. Both are equal. Easy example I already told. We are sitting on the bench is not broken. That means an equal amount of force is reacted on our body. So both are equal. W is equal to R. So you keep it in mind. So W is equal to R. R in the chapter weight, W is equal to normal reaction R. You see the sketch once again. So very, very important. In the chapter you take weight, W is equal to normal reaction R. The data very, very important for doing problem. Problem very easy, but this data, now usually weight of the job will be given. You take it as a normal reaction data. Then one more point, a limiting friction. What is a limiting friction? This data also required. It's not a new data. You see the same sketch, the previous and this same sketch. Now you forget about the top and bottom arrow. Right and left you see. Left hand side applied force P given. Right hand side limiting friction F given. Arrow. Right left arrow. So now read the line. When two dry surfaces move by striking each other, frictional force is created in between the surfaces. We already studied whenever we are moving the job, immediately a force will be created in between the surfaces. That force is called frictional force. That we know. Whenever a job is moved or sliding, immediately a force will be created. That force is called frictional force. And again they are telling, if we keep on striking, continuously moving, a stage at which the force becomes maximum trying to stop our movement. At that time, that frictional force is called limiting frictional force. So don't get confused. Same frictional force only. I am telling the same frictional force only. Once the job is just slide, immediately, can say another example. Suppose the one table available, we wanted to move the table to, for example, 10 meters. I am continuously applying 50 kg force while starting itself. I want, so understand, I wanted to move a table to 10 meter distance, or you can say 50 meter distance, very long, far away. I want to move a table to 100 meter, you can say 100 meter distance. While starting itself, I am applying 50 kg force. So the table is moving, keep on moving. So it keep on moving, immediately friction will be developed. Once start sliding, immediately friction developed 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, and keep on developing. We are continuously moving with the 50 kg force. But the friction, I already, once slide starting, sliding, immediately friction will be keep on moving 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg. And when it becomes at 50 kg, our movement will be stopped because applied force 50 kg. Now friction force is slowly developing 1, 2, 3, 4, and once both becomes equal, our movement will be stopped. At that time, that friction force is called limiting friction force. So now I think you understand. It's not a new thing. The same friction force, when both becomes equal, that time the friction force is called limiting friction force. So it is idea required for doing problem. So from this we know applied force and limiting friction force both are equal. P and F both are equal. So the 4 letters play a major role in this chapter. P, applied force. The sketch you see, applied force. F, limiting friction or friction force. W, weight of the job, or normal reaction. Once you understand the sketch, everything, all the definition we can easily tell. Applied force, you see the sketch, applied force, limiting friction, both are opposite direction, acting opposite direction. And weight down is applying downwards, normal reaction upwards. The 4 letter P, F, W, R. 4 letters, we are understanding the meaning of 4 letters, products are dead easy. Then laws of frictional force. There are 4 laws available. The force is opposite, frictional force is opposite to the direction of applied force. That we already studied. Frictional force always acts opposite to the direction of applied force. Important objective question. Frictional force always acts opposite to the direction of applied force. Because the sketch itself, I told you, both are acting opposite. Then frictional force is proportional to the normal reaction. What is it meant by simply proportional means directly proportional. Friction increase means normal reaction increase or weight increase. Both are the same. Proportion means directly proportional. Friction increase, normal reaction decrease. That is called normal, directly proportional to both points are very important. Friction force is proportional to normal reaction. Friction force is opposite to the applied force. Then third one, friction depends upon surface roughness, depends upon the condition of the floor. Friction depends upon surface roughness. Smooth floor, friction less. Rough floor, friction more. Depends upon the surface condition. Fourth one, friction not depends upon shape and area, whether square or circle or any area, or area, very small area, big area. It not depends upon shape and area, only it depends upon surface condition. Smooth floor, friction less. Rough floor, friction more. Shape, not required. Square shape or circle shape, or small area, big area. It not depends upon force and area. So these are the laws of frictional force. Same. Then one more word coming, coefficient of friction. So what is the meaning? Simple formula available. Coefficient of friction is the ratio between limiting friction and normal reaction is called coefficient of friction. Formula very, very important in the chapter. Coefficient of friction is equal to limiting friction divided by normal reaction. Mu is equal to F divided by R. It has no unit. Formula you keep it in mind. While doing problem, I will explain. Mu is equal to F divided by R. Mu means coefficient of friction. F means limiting friction. R means the normal reaction. Coefficient of friction has no units. Then what is angle of friction? So the word a little tougher. You see the sketch and the word together. The resultant force of normal reaction and the limiting frictional force makes an angle with normal reaction. This angle is called angle of friction. You see the arrow F. We know F means limiting friction or normal reaction. The resultant of the F and R, that is the diagonal line. They are telling the diagonal line. The resultant of F and R makes an angle with R. The theta I mentioned now, that is called angle of friction. The angle between R and the resultant force. Formula mu is equal to tan theta, where theta is equal to angle of friction. Theta, how to find out? Tan inverse of mu you have to find out. Tan theta is not angle of friction, only theta is angle of friction. For that you have to find out while doing problem. So inclined plane, What is inclined plane? Suppose a lorry or truck available. If you want to lift a heavy weight vertically up, very, very difficult. More manpower required. For that, we are normally what we are doing, a slope we are providing. Wooden plank or steel plate we are putting, and we keep the job away from the truck, and we are pushing up to the required height. So inclined plane, it is a flat surface which makes an angle with another horizontal surface. By using this inclined plane idea, heavy loads can be lifted with less effort. Heavy loads can be lifted with less effort. So it is a flat surface which makes an angle with another surface with some angle. Heavy loads can be lifted with less effort by using inclined plane. In the olden days, now we are having the crane, lift, everything. So the olden days, they are mostly using by means of inclined plane idea only, used for lifting heavy loads to a particular height. Formula available. In this chapter, velocity ratio and mechanical advantage both are equal. This is the formula 1 divided by sin theta. So for doing problems of formula, it's not a new formula, but developed formula. Force of friction when the force is horizontal. This is the second sketch. A job placed on a floor, how much force required to just move the job? P. How to find out P? P is equal to mu into R. R means weight of the job. If friction not given, P and R same. For example, 50 kg job placed on a job, how much force is required to move the job? 50 kg required. 50 kg job means 50 kg force required. 100 kg job means 100 kg force. Suppose friction given on the floor, friction 0.5 given means you multiply with the friction and take it as P. 0.5 means automatically 100 kg means 50 kg. 50 kg job means 25 kg is the friction. So second formula, again while doing problem, force of friction when the force is at an angle of theta. Normally we are moving the job with the first sketch with some angle. Horizontally, force applied horizontally means first formula. Parallel to horizontal surface. Means is P is equal to mu into R. With some angle if you are given, means you can use the second formula. P is equal to mu W divided by cos theta plus sin theta, where I already explained weight W is equal to normal reaction is equal to R. In the chapter, applied force P and limiting friction is equal to F. Theta angle will be. If angle given means apply second formula. Angle not given means first formula. Go to first problem. Problem is an empty drum weighing 50 kg is resting on a shop floor. Find the coefficient of friction if a force of 15 kg makes it just move. So what is the meaning? An empty drum weighing 50 kg, weight of the drum 50 kg, resting on a floor, placing on the floor. Find the coefficient of friction if a force of 15 kg makes it just move. 50 kg, so 50 kg job placed on the floor. By means of 15 kg, we are moving the job. So you see, 50 weight of the job 50 kg, but force applied only 15 kg. So friction is the floor is very, very smooth floor. So what is the friction? What is the condition of the floor? They are asking. Find the coefficient of friction on the floor. They are asking. So problems are very direct application of formula only. Weight W is equal to normal reaction R is equal to 50 kg. We take applied force P is equal to limiting friction F. In the chapter, P and F same, W and R same, 15 kg. Directly apply the formula. Coefficient of friction mu is equal to F divided by R. F value 15. The applied force given. R. Actually normal reaction, but both are equal. Weight. Divided, you will get 0.3, no unit. So two data is given. It's a very easy problem. Go to second. One 10 kg metal block is fixed on an even board or placed on an even board. Mu is equal to 0.22, coefficient of friction. Find out the even surface force to shake the block. It's similar to the previous problem. Weight W is equal to normal reaction, R is equal to 10 kg. Applied force P is equal to limiting friction, F is equal to question mark. Here, applied force they are asking. The previous problem, coefficient of friction asked. You see the previous problem, mu is equal to question mark. Mu formula F divided by R, mu question mark. In this problem, one 10 kg job placed on a floor, friction between the floor 0.22. How much force required to just move the job? And one more question also asked. Also find out the effective force to shake the block at an angle of 30 degrees to the plane. Case 1, you apply force P is, how much force required? P is equal to mu into R. I already told. If mu not given, P is equal to R. Mu given means multiply with R. Same formula. Mu is equal to F divided by R, and both the formula same. Mu is equal to F divided by R. F is equal to P. So P is equal to mu into R. Same formula rearranged. P is equal to mu into R, 0.22 into 10, 2.2 kg. Second question. Also find out the effective force to shake the block at an angle of 30 degrees to the plane. If some angle given means apply the second formula. Mu W divided by cos theta plus mu sin theta. Mu value 0.22 multiplied by weight 10 divided by cos 30 plus mu sin 30. You will get 2.254 kg with some angle. So both the formula applied. Go to problem number 3. A casting weighing 72 kg is clamped by 2 clamps on the table of a planing machine. Normally, the workshop they are having planing machine for surface operation. That means the job is clamped on the table of a machine. The machine, the table along with the job moving forward and reciprocating motion, forward moving, forward and reverse, it will go. The tool will cut the material. So it's the planing machine idea. Job is placed on the table, and the table along with the job moving forward and reverse. That is reciprocating motion. So the tool fixed at one place, it will take away the material. Now, if the tension in each clamp is 50 kg, the job is clamped on the table with 50 kg, 2 clamps. What is the maximum horizontal cutting force that can be resisted? This is similar to the previous problem, only one extra idea coming. By means of 2 clamp, it is holded with the table. So the tension given means you have to add tension with the clamp. So it's tension with the weight. So you see, normal reaction R is equal to weight. Or usually we are taken normal reaction, weight, and both are equal. But in this problem, you add tension also. Okay? If tension given means add the tension. 2 clamps tension, 2 into 50, so totally 172 kg. Then coefficient of friction 0.19. As usual formula, P is equal to mu into R, 0.19 into 172. Tension, extra tension given. So then problem number 4. Another formula we are applying. Calculate the angle of inclination. That is angle of friction they are asking. If a weight of 150 kg is in equilibrium. Equilibrium is stable position. Mu 0.25. Calculate the force of friction also. Force of friction is our usual question. You see the data. Normal reaction R is equal to weight is equal to 150 kg. Force of friction question mark. P question mark. Angle of friction theta question mark. Then coefficient of friction data given. First formula we already completed. P is equal to mu into R. Mu value 0.25. R means weight of the job 150. 37.5 kg force required for moving the job. In now new formula. Calculate the force of calculate the angle of inclination or angle of friction. They are asking formula tan theta mu is equal to tan theta or tan theta is equal to the last line is the angle of friction theta is equal to tan inverse of mu. Mu value 0.25. Tan inverse of mu, if you are finding out 14.2 degree, you are getting angle of friction. Then go to last problem. Again, new formula. A mass of 500 gram kept on an inclined plane of 30 degree slope, inclined plane is placed on a, we want to move the job upward. A mass of 500 gram kept on an inclined plane of 30 degree inclined plane or slope, 30 degree slope with the coefficient of friction 0.3. Now question, find the force required to move the job mass upwards. How much force required to move the job upwards, upward direction. And one more question, force required to move the job downwards. Force required to move the job downwards. So two questions. So given data, force required to move the job upwards. Formula, new formula. So this formula we not at all studied. A new formula. Whenever the job is on an inclined plane, this formula you have to apply. P is equal to W within bracket mu cos theta plus sin theta. 500 into the data you substitute 0.3 into cos 30 plus sin 30 and to do the calculation you get 370 gram force required for moving the job upward direction. If you want to move the job downwards very easy because inclined plane is a slope now. If you are pushing it is quickly coming down. So only the same formula minus sin theta you have to put. Formula more or less same. The center instead of plus you put minus and the data as usually put. Finally you get 120 gram in the minus direction. But the force should be expressed. How much force required to move the job downwards? 120 gram. In the opposite direction. That's why minus cover. So I think all the problem we covered. So first we studied what is member friction. So the chapter is friction. So that's why I will repeat one time. Whenever a job is sliding, a force created in between the surfaces, that force is called friction force, which always acts opposite the direction of outward force. The balance advantages, friction having some advantages as well as disadvantages also. Then types of friction force, static, dynamic. Static is sliding, rolling and fluid friction. How to reduce friction, normal reaction, limiting friction, idea study. Loss of friction force, that very important. Loss of friction force, 4 points, all the 4 points in my exam purpose very important. Coefficient of friction, that definition and formula important for exam purpose. Angle of friction, that formula also important. Inclined plane idea. Good. Then force of friction problems we completed. Or by problem idea given. Now you take any book or any problem, you can able to. Now you can ask any doubt. Type a message. Last question you want now. Last problem. So last problem, if the job is placed on an inclined means slope. So the lorry available. If you want to move any job up to the height, we are putting on wooden plank or slope, the tapper position. We are making a tapper and pushing the job slowly with less effort. Lifting directly from the floor to vertical up means very difficult. More manpower required. To avoid that, we are providing some inclined plane, any wooden plank or steel plate, and we are pushing the job from far away to lorry truck. But slowly we are moving. Inclined plane slope less means easily with less amount of effort we can lift a heavy load with less manpower. So the formula derivation very tough. So directly take the formula. P is equal to W into mu cos theta plus sin theta. Because it's going on inclined plane, all the angle you have to take it into account. That's why the formula, new formula I am given. To avoid confusion, the last problem alone. So they are derived from so many data. While the job is moving up. So formula directly application. The formula derived from so many ideas. It will minimum half an hour required to explain the formula, how it is derived. Because so many angles involved while going on slope. Moving on horizontal, vertical means very easy to derive the formula, but inclined plane means more idea. Just formula applied. Then any doubt you can ask. Problem 3 also some people asking. So I will, you forget about the problem. I will give you an example. On a window, so near to a window, a man standing. His weight is 60 kg. If you want to pull the man from there, 60 kg weight. You see, a man standing near to the window, not holding anything. If you want to shift the man from here, if you are applying 60 kg and pull means the man will come out. Suppose the man holding the rod, window rod, with 50-50 tension, 2 hands available. By means of each hand he apply 50-50 tension on the rod, window rod. Now how much force is required to move the man from the window? The weight of the man 60 kg. But using his self energy, he applied 50-50 tension on the window rod. Now the man weight 60 kg. Now how much tension given by the man with the rod? 50-50. Total 160 kg we apply. Then only the man, we can be able to shift the man from the window. The same idea only here. The tension is nothing but the tension given by the example is tension given by the man on the window. If a tension not given means weight is equal to normal reaction. Tension given means tension also you have to add. Because by means of clamp, the job is fixed. So job we can't simply push. The clamp also give a more force on the pressing the job with the bed. You have to apply more force. Then only we can be able to push the job. Okay, thank you for attending the class. Any doubt, you can tell me in WhatsApp. Thank you. Number I am given 944 166 108. PowerPoint 1 or any doubt you can ask in the. Okay, thank you.